Headlines: The Court of Appeal will on Saturday morning hear the case seeking to prevent the Chief Elections Officer, Keith Lowenfield, from presenting his elections report. The body of an 18-year-old girl is pulled from the Berbice River and her parents believe she was murdered. Caribbean Airlines brings home Guyanese who were stuck in Trinidad and Barbados, and 11 teachers test positive for COVID-19. In sport, recovering Gabriel upbeat about West Indies' chances in England. With the news, I'm Avenash. Ramzan, good evening and thank you very much for joining us. We start off by telling you that the Court of Appeal will on Saturday morning hear oral submissions from representatives of several political parties in the matter seeking to prevent the Chief Elections Officer, Keith Lowenfield, from complying with the direction he has received to present a report of the results of the national vote recount to the Guyana Elections Commission, GECOM. No injunctions or orders were on Friday granted by the court when the matter first came up. The applicant in the case, Eslyn David, did not even apply for any injunctions. So practically, GECOM can go ahead and do its work, and nothing prevents the Chief Elections Officer, Keith Lowenfield, from submitting his report of the results of the national vote recount, and nothing prevents the Commission from meeting to declare those results. Lowenfield on Thursday refused to submit his report, saying the notice he received that the court proceedings had been filed prevented him from submitting his report, and that is not the case. No order was granted to prevent him from doing so. The presiding judges in the case are Brassington, Reynolds, Rishi Prasad and Don Gregory-Barnes. Several appearances were made on Friday when the matter was called. All respondents in the matter were given until 18 hours to email their written submissions to the court. Ms. David is seeking to prevent GECOM from making a declaration of the results from the recently completed recount exercise, which were certified for all 10 districts as valid and showing a victory for the opposition People's Progressive Party. When the court resumes on Saturday morning, each of the parties will have 30 minutes to make their oral submissions. Following the hearing, the court will notify when it will make its ruling. When the newsroom returns, the body of an 18-year-old girl is pulled from the Berbice River and 11 teachers test positive for COVID-19. Welcome back. This is the newsroom. We tell you that the parents of 18-year-old Melissa Soman, whose body was found in the Berbice River on Thursday afternoon, believe she was murdered. The teen left her parents' home at New Amsterdam and was living with her boyfriend up the Berbice River. Bibi Katoon reports.
The body of 18-year-old Melissa Soman was found floating in the Berbice River in the vicinity of the Veld village at around 15 hours on Thursday. Police headquarters revealed that the teen was returning home from a birthday party in the company of a 48-year-old laborer of New Amsterdam Berbice at around 20 hours on Wednesday in his wooden boat. The laborer, who is now in police custody, told investigators that during the boat ride home, Soman informed him that she and her boyfriend were having problems and then she suddenly jumped overboard. According to the police statement, the suspect revealed that he and others tried to rescue her but were unsuccessful. However, the teen's parents believe that she was murdered and want her boyfriend to be questioned.
The boy family there, come home, bury the mother, and go back. I see she back. Again, people message to give me data. I think she coming not nothing. I faint. Last night I faint back. My husband hold me back. All the data hold me back. She said, Mommy, you can't go to stay no more. I said, yeah. My grandson, morning. On the father, morning. I want to attend Odyssey. The family was Jim, John C. I want this by loose. I want the by the
Yesterday afternoon I was at the car wash working, and a guy by the name of Head and the captain for the village come out and they deliver a message to give me, but the suspect my daughter drowned it. But I don't know if she drowned or alive. But when I get the confirmed message, they find her. But the captain for the village want to know how a person drowned Wednesday night between 9 to 10, and Thursday she find her around 2 o'clock at some river corner by a shop. She not had no clothes. She had her panty tights, the brassiere, and her head was not being fully recognized because it looked like the body head. She wasn't having eyes, nothing. This whole party is damaged, and this one hand, the right hand, was so badly burned. It had the bones on it, but this part was not. But what I'm looking for justice. God, that's Peter. She was a nice person. I mean, she have her own way, but still, we look out for her. But she was a very nice person, good-looking person. Yeah.
The parents said their youngest daughter left their 58 Stanleytown, New Amsterdam Berbice home and their 3-year-old son a few months ago, telling them she was going up the Berbice River with her boyfriend. They did not see her since. The body is presently lying at the New Amsterdam Hospital mortuary, awaiting post-mortem examination. The family cannot afford funeral expenses and are asking for the public to assist them. Mr. Soman can be contacted on telephone numbers 592-655-1283. Bibi Katun, Newsroom.
And police are on the hunt for 3 men who gagged, tied up and beat a 27-year-old sales girl on Wednesday at Quartz Zone Bagdam, Cuyuna River. Newsroom understands that the victim is employed to operate a shop at the waterfront when on the day in question, the 3 men entered at around 20 hours 30 and bought 3 banks beer. In the process of being served, 2 of the men whipped out handguns and forced the victim into a room where they gagged her and bound her feet and hands with Scotch tape. The victim told the police that the men slapped her and demanded cash and jewelry. The gunmen escaped with a Digicel modem valued $160,000, a $100,000 gold chain, a gold ring valued $30,000 along with $100,000 in cash. The victim freed herself after the gunmen left and reported the incident to her employer, who then filed a report at the Bartica police station on Thursday. And an employee of Express Delivery was on Friday morning robbed of his motorcycle CK4139 and other valuables in South Rhineville Park in Georgetown. The incident occurred at around 10 hours 20. Natasha Goodridge, the owner of the delivery service, told the newsroom that the man had just dropped off an item at Congress Drive, South Rhineville, when he was attacked. According to her, he had just left the customer's home and was making his way out of the street when he noticed 2 males walking in front of him. He slowed down to avoid splashing water on the men when they turned around, held him at gunpoint, and took away his motorcycle, 2 phones, and an undisclosed amount of cash. One of the men was also armed with a knife. Goodrich said the man walked back to the customer's home and made contact with her and the police. A report was made to the East Penitence Police Outpost. Anyone who notices a motorcycle CK4139 is asked to contact 600-0500 or the nearest police station. Now, a total of 141 Guyanese who were struck in Trinidad and Barbados due to the COVID-19 measures returned home on Friday. Isnella Patwa reports.
The Caribbean Airlines flight landed at the Cheddi-Jagan International Airport at 12 hours 30 with 141 stranded Guyanese from Trinidad and Tobago and Barbados. The nationals were scheduled to return on June 11th, but the flight was cancelled after the Ministry of Foreign Affairs failed to submit the list of passengers to the airline 48 hours before the flight was scheduled to depart. Guyanese stranded in Trinidad previously complained that they already paid $50,000 Guyana dollars to do their COVID-19 tests, as they need a negative result 48 hours before arrival to be granted entry, and they were worried that they would have to redo the tests. However, Director General of the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority, Egbert Field, told the newsroom that the Ministry of Public Health found it adequate that they did not have to take the test again. A few passengers who arrived on Friday said they are relieved to be home.
How long have you been in Trinidad?
I've been in Trinidad for about 6 months now.
And how has that experience been?
Well, I was there for school, university, so it's been unusual, and the pandemic just reinforced that.
Okay. Are you happy to be home?
I am very happy to be home. Yes, I am.
Alright. And would you subject yourself to the 7-day quarantine as being requested by the government?
Yes, I will.
How long have you been in Trinidad?
3 months and I think a week.
Okay. And how has that experience been for you?
Terrible. It was terrible. And the process was very, what should I say, aggravated. came to the point where I wanted to give up, but I'm here.
Right. Are you happy to be home?
I'm very happy to be home. Never miss Guyana this much.
Before boarding a flight, all passengers are required to submit a repatriation form to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and a negative COVID-19 test 48 hours before they travel. All the passengers are also subjected to a mandatory strict 7-day home quarantine once they arrive in Guyana. Guyana closed all ports of entry on March 17 to curb the spread of COVID-19. The country's 2 international airports were scheduled to reopen on July 1st in a phased manner. A total of 353 persons were repatriated from Miami and New York in the United States in the last couple of weeks. Mr. Field said the next repatriation flight out of the U.S. is expected sometime next week. Reporting for the newsroom, I am Isanella Pato.
The Ministry of Education has announced that 5 more teachers from the Moruca Sub-District Region 1 have tested positive for the coronavirus as of noon Friday, June 19. On Thursday, the Education Ministry revealed that 6 teachers were tested positive. This means that a total of 11 teachers from the region are now battling the deadly virus. The Regional Health Officer has since advised that with the 23 confirmed cases in the Moruca Sub-District, the situation there is now deemed as community transmission. Additionally, the RHO has requested a community lockdown for a period of 14 days. The Department of Education, under the guidance of the Ministry of Education, with effect from Friday, has closed all schools in the sub-district until the spread is contained, a statement from the Ministry of Education revealed. Meanwhile, alternative methods of engagement are being implemented to ensure that the learners of grades 6 and 11 who are affected at this time are prepared to write the National Grade 6 Assessment and the Caribbean Secondary Certificate examinations. Still ahead on the newsroom, the family of a Madhya bus driver who was killed by cops calls for justice, and a Guyanese woman launches an organization to help women get out of abusive relationships. Welcome back. This is the newsroom. Guyana did not record any new cases of COVID-19 as of June 19. In its daily COVID-19 update, the Ministry of Public Health stated that the total number of confirmed cases remains at 183 and the number of COVID-19 deaths remains at 12. Currently, regions 1, 4, and 7 are the most affected regions of the country, with Aranca Region 7 having the second highest number of cases. The Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Shamdeo Prasad, provided Friday's update.
We are approaching another weekend, and for many, if not all of you, as is customary, it will be a weekend of grand celebration as a way of showing appreciation to all our fathers and expectant fathers. We are cognizant that this is a special activity. However, it's our mandate to ensure that we celebrate with safety in mind. I'm sure your burning question is, how can you celebrate and not meet in groups of over 5? Or how can you celebrate wearing a mask? Those are relevant questions, but you have had the opportunity to acquire new skills, and there are many platforms available for celebrating without being in person. We do urge you to utilize these platforms because this is surely one way to ensure that you remain COVID-free and are alive next year to celebrate once more. It is one of the ways that we can try to keep another father alive to provide for his children. Now for the update of the situation in Guyana. As of the 19th of June 2020, there have been no new cases. The total number of confirmed cases remain at 183, and the number of COVID-19 deaths remain at 12. We have conducted 2,048 tests so far, with 1,865 being negative. 102 persons have recovered to date. In institutional isolation, we now have 69 active cases and 24 cases in institutional quarantine. There is no patient in the COVID-19 ICU. In our analysis, we highlighted that males continue to be the sex most affected by this disease. Our adult population, especially 20 to 29 age group, is the most at risk according to our data. Regions 1, 4, and 7 are the regions most affected, and the mining community is now one of the most vulnerable groups for the spread of this disease. Residents in region number 7, I wish to make a special appeal to you, as the situation in your community is grave concern to the ministry. The Cuyuni-Mazaruni region, notably Aranca, has the second highest number of confirmed cases. It's a mining community, which means that there is constant movement in and out of the area. This makes it extremely vulnerable for the disease to spread. Unless you, the residents in this area, wish to see an alarming spike in the number of positive cases and even deaths, I plead with you to act responsibly. Once you are positive, you must go to an isolation facility which must be manned by the relevant and competent health workers.
4 months after he was shot and killed by a police sergeant, the family of 36-year-old Madhya bus driver Cleveland Gomes is still hurting, and they continue to seek justice. Isnel Patwa reports.
Cleveland Gomes was described as a devoted father, husband, brother, and son. The 36-year-old bus driver was shot and killed by a police sergeant on February 28 during an altercation between Gomes and a minor identified as Elton Monroe at 11 Miles, Madhya, Region 8. The police sergeant was reportedly drinking at the time. The newsroom spoke with victim's sister, Samantha Gomes, on Friday, who said the family remains devastated after 4 months without any justice. Prior to his death, Gomes took care of his 76-year-old mother.
My brother was such a loving, caring son, brother, father. My brother was just cool. My brother never went to no police problem. He don't fight. He just be cool. Everybody know that. And up to today, it is hurting us very, very much, because it's not that he died, right? The way that my brother's life was taken, that is killing us every day. Every day it is hurting us. And then up to now, we hear nothing proper about the story. My brother was 6 years younger than me. He used to take care of our mother. She's 76. He has 2 children.
The sisters said that they were told by the police that the file is with the Director of Public Prosecutions. She also highlighted that the regional commander, Superintendent Ramesh Ashram, promised that justice will be served, since Gomes used to transport police officers to and from Madhya.
All the police was very sad, because it's the day before he take up a whole bus load of police. And when we walked in there, they saw me. I don't know if they see any resemblance or whatever. They said, "You is Gomes' sister?" I said, "Yes." And they said, "Man, it's very unfortunate that your brother's death was taken by a police, because Gomes was for the police. He used to transport the police, everything with the police." I spoke to the commander. He was there at the post-mortem. He said that we're going to get justice. The commissioner said the same thing.
The post-mortem revealed that Gomes died as a result of gunshot injuries. The bullet pierced him on the shoulder from behind, broke his shoulder bone, and exited through the neck. Relatives previously accused hospital authorities at the Madhya hospital of causing his death because of a delay in getting him emergency medical care.
My brother was there for 6 hours. They tried all the plane and everything. One time they get on to Terry Govile. He said that the government owe him, and his plane is not going there. So they tried private other place, and they could not get the plane. My brother was there for 6 hours. He bled to death.
Relatives had told the newsroom that Gomes and Elton Monroe was involved in an altercation after Monroe confronted Gomes for money owed to him. The two got into a fight earlier, and Gomes was stabbed. While heading to the hospital, Monroe then confronted Gomes with a cutlass and continued to assault him. Police headquarters stated that Monroe was repeatedly warned by the sergeant to desist from his actions, but after he continued, the sergeant shot at him, but Gomes was struck instead. Both the police sergeant and Monroe was placed under close arrest. The newsroom tried to contact the commander for an update on this matter, but it was futile. A police officer at the Madhya police station said the commander was out of the jurisdiction. Reporting for the newsroom, I am Isanella Pato.
We tell you now that 3 Guyanese women have come together to launch an organization to empower others to leave abusive relationships. Abused Woman in Relationship is a name which came from the experiences faced by one of its founders, Annie Hemraj. Hemraj told Newsroom that she suffered an abusive relationship for approximately 16 years and is now looking to help other women who may be in a similar position. Hemraj, who now resides in Canada, raised funds which she used to provide hampers to families in Guyana during the COVID-19 lockdown. In the long term, she wants to build a shelter for abused women in Guyana where they can also learn a trade.
I started this group based on my own experience, what I've went through in my marriage for 20 years. And it's personal to me. And it's also, I want to bring awareness for a woman who is going through abuse and who doesn't have a voice. I want to give them this platform so they can come and hear and voice their situation, whatever problem they're going through. And in whatever way we can help, we will try our best to help them. I know a lot of women think about it like, okay, I have kids, I don't have family, or what my family gonna say. But in all taking this, it's all about your own peace of mind, your mental health. And it's something that you have to do. You have to set an example for your kids. You don't want to be in a relationship where you're being beaten and battered day in, day out. What kind of example are you setting for your kids? You're traumatizing the kids, that the kids will feel, okay, if mom is going through this now, then it's okay for me when I choose a partner in life, but it's not okay. I do have a property in Guyana. It's a joint property. My grandparents' place, but my mom acquired it. It's on the West Coast. So I was going to reconstruct it into a shelter where it's going to be available for anyone who needs help. Not only that, I want to have a place where these women, where I could teach these women any trade, computer, cooking, anything that will elevate them to go out there and fend for themselves. So that they're empowered, they're independent. They don't have to sit back and wait for a husband paycheck. They should be independent. In whatever field they choose to do that, they should be independent and be proud of who they are.
Where the newsroom returns, the financial, weather and bridge reports along with sport. Stay tuned.